It's 2084. Every job you were trained for, gone. Every task you were built to do, automated. Your bank account refills itself every month, and you never had to lift a finger. You should feel free. Instead, you feel nothing. This is the dystopia they never put in the history books. Not an Orwellian boot on your neck, just comfort. Endless, seamless, suffocating comfort. And somewhere beneath the convenience, your soul is starving. In this video, we are going to explore what life might be like in 2084 and how Stoicism may still be relevant. Friedrich Nietzsche saw this coming, it would seem. Writing in The Gay Science, he imagined a future where the buying and selling of goods, that is, the arts of commerce that once defined human survival, would gradually become optional. He said, social conditions in which there is no buying and selling, in which the need for these arts is gradually lost, are entirely conceivable. He traced the pattern. In ages of savagery, everybody hunted. It was necessity. Then it became a privilege of the noble and powerful. Then a sentimental luxury, something the wealthy did for sport, not for survival. He then said, so might it be someday with buying and selling. A future where commerce ceases to be necessary and becomes a matter of choice instead, a luxury, perhaps something only the exceptional would bother with, like war or politics once were. Nietzsche was perhaps inadvertently describing 2084, but he missed something. He didn't account for what happens to the human soul when necessity disappears entirely, when there is nothing left to do, nothing left to choose, and nothing left to become. To understand 2084, you have to remember 2026. Back then, the algorithms were just suggestions. Your phone knew what you wanted to eat before you were hungry. It finished your sentences. It curated your world into a frictionless feed of things you already agreed with. We thought we were being helped. We were being softened. Because every time a machine made a choice for you, what to watch, what to buy, who to connect with, it quietly borrowed a little piece of your agency, and you let it, because it was easier. Fast forward 60 years, and that loan has now become due. In 2084, desire itself has been automated. There is no hunger the system hasn't already anticipated. No need left unmet, no decision left unmade. The algorithm doesn't just predict what you want, it determines it. Choice, real human choice, has become a relic, a curiosity, something your grandparents apparently used to do. And the machine interface is beautiful, seamless, responsive. It wraps around your life like a second skin. It is also a prison. The most elegant prison ever constructed, because it has no bars, only rewards. The real totalitarianism doesn't need force. It needs only to make force unnecessary. Give people enough comfort, and they will hand over their freedom willingly. In 2084, nobody suffers, nobody strains, and nobody fails. And nobody grows either. Nietzsche seemed to see this coming. He warned that a society obsessed with comfort and security would eventually produce what he called the last man, a creature who had eliminated all risk, all hardship, all greatness. But somebody who asks, what is love, what is creation, what is longing, and finds the questions exhausting. The last man doesn't despair, he doesn't rage. He just settles and calls it happiness. In 2084, the last man is the majority. Because growth requires resistance, mastery requires struggle, dignity has always lived inside the effort, not the outcome. Strip away the effort and something essential dissolves. Not your body, not your bank balance, but yourself. This is the crisis no economist modelled, no policy paper anticipated. The metrics look perfect, life expectancy up, material poverty eradicated, suffering minimised, and yet the humans of 2084 are hollowed out, overfed and purposeless, alive in every measurable sense, dead in the only one that matters. 2,000 years ago, a philosopher named Seneca wrote a letter. He wasn't writing it to the poor, he was writing to the comfortable, to the Romans drowning in wealth and influence, men who had everything and yet felt it meant nothing. His instruction was radical then, but maybe useful now. He said, "Set aside certain days on which you will be content with the simplest food, with rough, cheap clothing. Then say to yourself, is this the condition I feared?" Voluntary poverty, not as punishment, as practice, as proof. Proof that the comfort does not own you. Epictetus understood this at a level most people never will, because he didn't choose hardship philosophically. He lived it. Born a slave, crippled, owned, and yet he became one of the most psychologically free men in recorded history. His teaching was simple. You cannot control what happens to you. You can only control how you respond. In 2084, that distinction is everything, because the system controls everything that happens to you. The only territory left is inside. And Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man on earth, wrote this to himself in private, never intending for it to be published. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. A man who had every comfort, every convenience, every luxury the ancient world could offer, and spent his evenings reminding himself not to be seduced by it. That is the practice. That is what 2084 demands of you. To cook a meal with your hands when the synthesizer could do it in seconds. To walk somewhere when the pod would carry you. To sit with boredom, with discomfort, with the raw, unoptimized texture of an afternoon, and to refuse the algorithm's offer to fix it. This is what reclaiming your soul looks like. Not a revolution or a manifesto, but a daily, deliberate choice to reintroduce friction into a frictionless world. Because friction is where humans are forged. The machines haven't taken your freedom. They've made it so comfortable to surrender it that you barely noticed the moment you did. Seneca and Epictetus, they weren't writing for people who had nothing. They were writing for people who had everything. People exactly like the citizens of 2084. People exactly like you. Their message was never about suffering for its own sake. It was about knowing, proving to yourself that you are more than what you consume, more than the life the algorithm has designed for you. The Stoics gave the answer 2,000 years ago before it was asked. You create the struggle deliberately voluntary, every day. In 2084, the most useful thing you can do is choose difficulty when ease is available. The most radical act is to be hungry, not because you have to be, but because you remember what hunger taught you. Reclaim the struggle, reclaim the fiction, reclaim your soul. In 2084, Stoicism will continue to be relevant, perhaps more relevant than it ever has been. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more.